Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're unpacking a fascinating botanical entry from August 22nd, 2026. It's from a highly dedicated author named Eng, and it's titled Notes on Gardening, Part 994. Reaching Part 994 of a journal, that means we are dropping right into some deeply established, passionate research. And today, we're exploring one very specific, totally unique discovery, the Silver Tree Pilea. Let's just get right into it. Okay, let's dive into this. Have you ever found yourself on the hunt for a houseplant that is, visually stunning, completely unique, but also totally safe to actually bring into your home? Honestly, it's a surprisingly tough challenge. There are just so many plants out there, but finding that perfect sweet spot of exotic beauty and practical home safety, well, it kind of feels like searching for a needle in a haystack. Now, the Pilea genus as a whole is pretty massive, but our author zeroes in on one specific variety that absolutely stands out from the crowd. We need to figure out exactly what makes the Silver Tree Pilea such a standout discovery.
The origin of this discovery reads beautifully, almost like a personal diary. Look at that opening. Dear Interweb. I love that. It's intimate and totally authentic. Eng is sharing a genuine realization with us, basically pointing out that they've encountered quite a few plants from the Pilea genus before, so this isn't the first rodeo. But the Silver Tree Pilea, or scientifically Pilea spruceana, literally stops them in their tracks. When a seasoned gardener who has seen it all stops and says, wait, this one is different? Well, that tells us we need to pay very close attention to what comes next.
And here is exactly why it captured such intense attention. Striking, metallic, foliage. We are transitioning right from scientific categorization into pure aesthetic breakdown here, and honestly, it is hard not to get super excited about this. When we talk about normal houseplants, we're usually talking about standard greens, right? Maybe some whites or pinks if you're lucky, but metallic? No way. That is a whole different ballgame. To really understand why this plant caught Eng's eye, you kind of have to visualize these specific traits. We're talking textured leaves, a corrugated surface, metallic dark green veins. I really want you to picture that for a second. Corrugated, literally like the ridges and valleys of cardboard, creating these deep, rich shadows and bright highlights all across the leaf. It's not just flat, it's structural. It actually has architecture to it. And running right through those peaks and valleys are these metallic dark green veins that just catch the light perfectly. It is a stunning example of nature's design, described with such vivid sensory detail. But, of course, discovering a gorgeous living plant is really only half the battle. The other half, actually keeping it alive. Which brings us to a fascinating little observation in the notes regarding terrarium life and care. The entry explicitly points out that the Silver Tree Pilea is highly suitable for terrariums. Now, on the surface, that might just sound like a fun little decorating tip, but as focused learners, we know that a plant's preferred habitat tells us pretty much everything we need to know about its biology. So here's where we get to use a little deductive reasoning. Because this is explicitly noted as a terrarium plant, we can instantly deduce its exact care profile without needing to crack open a massive botany textbook. Think about it. What is a terrarium? It's basically a sealed or semi-sealed glass environment that traps moisture. Because of that, we can scientifically conclude that this plant absolutely thrives in high humidity. Furthermore, to survive inside that glass environment without getting totally scorched, it clearly requires adequate bright but indirect light exposure. Boom, it's a brilliant bit of plant detective work. Just by knowing it loves terrariums, we've effortlessly unpacked the Silver Tree Pilea's entire environmental checklist.
All right, now we arrive at what might actually be the biggest selling point of the whole shebang. So, we have this highly textured, metallic plant that loves the cozy humidity of a terrarium. But is it a liability? The journal guides us to the ultimate problem-solving feature of this plant. It is totally safe for the family. In the modern world of plant parenting, this is the exact hurdle that trips up so many amazing botanical discoveries. You find this gorgeous plant, bring it home, only to realize it's dangerous to keep around. But not this one. And this brilliantly illustrates the immense value of this discovery. The safety profile here is incredibly reassuring. Not only is the Silver Tree Pilea completely safe, but further reading confirms that this non-toxic trait extends across the entire Pilea genus. Being safe for pets and safe for children means you can bring that striking, corrugated, metallic foliage right into your living room. You can put a beautiful terrarium right on your coffee table with zero stress. It is 100% family-friendly.
So, what exactly happens when a passionate gardener discovers a stunning, non-toxic plant like this? Well, a botanical treasure hunt begins. The immediate next steps for Ang are pretty clear. Go on field trips to local plant nurseries and garden centers and explore even more plant species from the Pilea genus. The author is treating this tiny Silver Tree Pilea as the spark for a much wider botanical adventure, and honestly, the excitement is contagious. If the Pilea spruceana is this good, what else is just sitting there hiding on the shelves of the local garden center?
Which leads us perfectly to our final thought for this explainer. We've seen the incredibly textured aesthetics, we've deduced the terrarium care requirements, we've verified its fantastic, completely family-friendly safety profile. So, with its metallic leaves and pet-safe nature now established as our baseline, what other hidden gems is Ang going to find in the Pilea genus next? It really makes you eager to see what turns up in Notes on Gardening, Part 995, doesn't it? Thank you so much for hanging out with me to unpack this fascinating botanical entry. Keep learning, keep exploring, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.